Ever since I can remember, my life has been nothing but a struggle for me and for my family. Both of my parents, they were addicted to crack cocaine. My two brothers and sister and I, we never, ever had a stable home, love, guidance, or discipline. I remember this one time when I was about 6 or 7, I was awakened to screams of my mother as my father beat her unconscious. Does anyone know what that's like? To hear your mother pleading for help, knowing that you're not able to help her. It's the worst feeling any child can go through. Because every night, you worry, it's gonna happen again. And in my case, it was an ongoing situation until I turned 11. We were living in Dallas, Texas at the time. My mother, she finally decided to leave my father, which meant leaving her 4 children behind as well. My father took us to Baytown, Texas, which is like 4 to 5 hours away from Dallas, to stay with our grandmother, where we felt safe. And one day, out of nowhere, my uncle on my dad's side told us to pack our bags up, because we're leaving. And at the Greyhound bus station, 8 o'clock p.m., he handed each of us $100 so we could get something to eat on the way to Dallas, where our mother lived. When we got to Dallas around 1 o'clock a.m., we got off the bus, and there was no one waiting for us. We didn't have a number to contact anyone, so we just started walking the streets, waving at every taxi driver to stop. I can only imagine what was going through them taxi drivers' minds when they saw 2 little kids roaming the streets. Finally, this one taxi driver that had passed us up about 3 times stopped and asked us where we were going. The only thing we knew was East Dallas Carroll Street, because that was the last place we had seen our mother. We also knew that one of my mother's aunts lived in that same area. When we showed up at 4 o'clock a.m., my mother's aunt was very upset. She was like, "What are y'all doing here? Did anyone say anything to me about y'all coming?" 3 days later, our mother showed up. We needed somewhere else to go because I heard my mother, she was arguing with her aunt about us being there. So then, our mother took us to live at a trap house where they sold drugs. 2 months later, early in the morning, we heard this loud noise coming from the back of the house, windows breaking. We were all in shock and scared. We grabbed what little we had and ran outside. We were just a few feet away from the trap house when it came crumbling down. We saw bulldozers and excavators tearing the house to pieces. Hearing my mother's cries broke my heart into 1,000,001 pieces. That's when my life as a child was over. I started living on the streets. My heart gradually turned cold. I simply didn't care anymore about life. I saw no meaning or purpose. Finally, I got into a fight and took someone's life. I was sent to the juvenile detention center, and at my very first hearing, the judge asked me to step in front of him. He asked me that I understood everything he was saying to me. I replied with a simple, "Sir, I do, yes, sir." So then he asked me to repeat anything that was said during the hearing. I had no response. He saw right through me and discovered my poor comprehension. In fact, I couldn't read or write. In jail, I would receive tons of mail from family and friends, but I would just smell the letters and put them away. Until one day, I had the courage to ask another inmate if he could read a letter from my aunt for me. And he said yes. So then I became comfortable enough to ask him to read all my letters to me. He was a good friend of me, but I wanted to read and write my own letters. So I started pursuing my education and participating in GED programs. Now I'm only one subject away from receiving my diploma. I'm a living proof that if I can do it, You can too. 17 years later, after paying for my mistakes, not only have I set goals for myself and accomplished a lot of them, but I just may have an opportunity for parole in 3 years. Thank you.